Hello beautiful people and welcome back to Hello Andriana. I haven't made a video like this in a really long time. If you've watched any of my earlier videos, like my travel ones or my introduction one or the really stupid MSN one, you know that's how I started my channel, was doing tips and storytelling type of things. And I kind of moved more into the wellness, meditation, and astrology kind of spaces. But I'm like, let me bring it back to the old school because, I mean, some of those videos have started doing well now, which is pretty cool. But today I want to do a reaction video. Like, it's kind of a reaction, but it also was something I was talking about yesterday before I saw the video. So I was talking to my roommates about how millennials have the shittiest end of the stick right now, especially in recent generations or the generations that are currently alive. We've had a rough go, okay? It's been hard out here in these streets. Of course, to prove that your phone is always listening, when I opened YouTube today, the first video I see was an NBC video talking about millennials, the unluckiest generation in modern history. You know, I couldn't help but click it and see what it was about, and it really just solidified everything that we were talking about. Think about the craziest things we've gone through. I'm a 90s born millennial, and I'm also near the end of it. I'm a 94, and I believe, depending on what you look at, it ends in 95, 96. So I'm near the end of it. So my childhood starts off at 9/11 happening. In 2001, I was in the second grade, and I remember my teacher being like, a plane hit these buildings, and me being like, okay. Like, I didn't really understand the magnitude because I'm in Canada, and I didn't really know what a terrorist was. I didn't really know what those buildings were. I didn't know anything about it, so I was just like, you knew something big happened, but you didn't really understand the gravity of it, if that makes sense. So that's kind of how we started our childhood off in the second grade. Flash forward to 2007, 2008, we get hit with one of the worst recessions since like the early 1900s. So this is when I would be in grade 8 going into grade 9, and you know, when you go into high school, you want to get a job, you want to start, you know, starting your adult life, because, you know, every teenager thinks they're grown, so your adult life, and, you know, start making your own money, start doing your own things, and kind of getting your independence. But how are we gonna do that when a recession is starting and grown-ass adults are losing their jobs or can't even get a job, and you have zero experience? So that's how we started our teenage to adulthood for the older millennials. Some of them might have just graduated high school or just graduated university, working on these degrees, getting in debt for all this time, and then can't get a job after. So that's how we started off our adult lives, or early teenage lives for a little younger millennials like me. And then flash forward to now, a friggin' pandemic hits, and it's just like, in my personal life, I was just getting into making pretty good money for my age. I was making almost 50K a year in my second full-time job. You know, even though it wasn't my favorite job ever, I was making really decent money, and I was able to finally save and start looking into possibly buying a condo or apartment or a house. And then the pandemic happened, and me, like many other people, got laid off because of it. And it's just like, when can we catch a break though? Like, when will y'all allow us to be great? It's either there's some terrorist act, there's some recession, or there's a damn pandemic which starts a recession. Like, when can we be great? When can we live our best lives? I don't understand. What did we do wrong? Like, we brought y'all Hey Arnold. We brought y'all all that. We brought y'all That's So Raven, and this is how you repay us? Like, I just don't understand. And this is something that is not just a me problem. This is also, there's older millennials that were born in the 80s that are going through the same thing right now, and some of them even have children. Like, millennials are parents right now, a lot of them. They lose jobs, they start their career off in a recession, it's just every 10 years in our millennial lives. It's like something happens that just pushes us back every single time. And I really encourage you to watch that NBC video, because they also talk about how the starting wages for us is even lower than they were for boomers and for Gen X. And we are also struggling more to move ahead in our careers just because these things keep happening that we have no control over. And when you finally feel like you have a grasp and a control over where your future is gonna go, tsunami is probably gonna happen, you know? Like, who knows what's gonna come next? And they think right now, in Canada at least, COVID cases are going down, but they're like, fall's gonna hit and there's gonna be another wave, and then we're gonna go back to everyone being social distance and quarantined. And it's like, great, so like literally this year is a total write-off, and going into next year is going to continue being a write-off. So it's like, how am I supposed to move my career ahead at all? How are any millennials supposed to move their career ahead? How are people supposed to meet anybody? Thank God that I'm in a relationship right now, because my friends that are single are going nuts. Like, they are, you know, deprived in many ways right now. Things are going crazy for them. Some of them have broken up with partners at this time, and it's like, girl, what is gonna come next? We can't take no more. God, if you're listening, give millennials a break, because we can't deal with another recession. We can't deal with another pandemic. We can't deal with it no more. 2030 better be lit, okay? I don't want none. No, this can't be a cycle. For every 10 years, something crazy happens to millennials. Because in 10 years, I'll be turning 36. God forbid my ass becomes unemployed again because of pandemic at 36, when I have a house and children and stuff, which a lot of people are dealing with right now. It's like, we're so unlucky. Boomers did not have to go through this stuff. Gen X didn't have to go through this stuff. Silent generation, they're on their way out right now. So, I mean, they're going through some other stuff right now. I'm being, you know, unlucky to be old right now, and one of the most susceptible generations or groups of people to get COVID and die from it. So, they're struggling in a different way. But when they were in their 20s, they had a house and family at the age of like 22. And in 22, all I could afford was a bottle of tequila to try and wash away the memory that I will never achieve the same basic things that they did at my age until I'm like 45. So it's above me now. Anyways, it felt great to let that off my chest, so thank you guys so much for listening. And if you are a broke-ass millennial that's over this like myself, leave a comment below, tell me, rant to me, honey. I want to hear it. I want to hear what you have to say about it. Let's just rant in these comments. I will read them all. I will comment back. Let's have a discussion here, because this shit is getting out of hand and it needs to be dealt with. Let's do this together, millennials. We got this. Millennials forever. That was so stupid. But yes, thanks for listening to my TED Talk. Of course, if you haven't yet, like this video, subscribe, leave your rant comment, hit that bell so you get my new videos, so when my next rant comes out, hopefully next week, if I stay consistent, then you'll get it right away. Thanks once again, and see you soon.